Hello everyone. I'm going to take a break from the storm at hand, and once again we're going to talk about the threat for a snowstorm of some sort for early next week and late this weekend. So we are looking at an air mass map right now. This is from the American model, and even though this isn't really showing a threat for a snowstorm next week as of now, it still shows a good idea of what's going to be happening with temperatures. So I want to go over this. So this is Friday evening. Again, so let's just reiterate that after our storm moves through, this is the storm that's moving through the area tonight into tomorrow. That's going to bring a surge of Arctic air behind it. There's high pressure up here. That's going to bring a surge of Arctic air behind it. So we're going to cool down a lot for Thursday. That's going to move through. Alright, and then by Friday we get a little bit warmer, not too much though. Then you have another area of low pressure up to the north, another little clipper system sort of. There's not going to be a lot of moisture associated with it, so there probably won't be too much precipitation. But this is going to drape a cold front through the area as well. So that's going to move east, and this is going to start bringing in another surge of Arctic air. So there it goes. And now the cold air is coming in, so its cold front is probably right along here, and it's going to move south and east. This is by Sunday evening, and there. So now this entire area, even down in here, you're immersed in cold air. Okay? You're immersed in cold air. So that cold front is extending all the way, probably back down into there, like that. So you have a boundary between two air masses. So you're getting another surge of Arctic air late Sunday into Monday, and possibly even into Tuesday. Let's see how long this stays around. Alright, so that's Monday still. And then by Wednesday, it's out of here. So there you go. So it'll probably be out of here by Wednesday. So you get another surge of Arctic air from this low pressure. It's going to bring a cold front through. And that's going to last for about 2 days. Alright, and then you have more southwesterly flow bringing in warmer air. Okay, now what do we always look for on the edge of Arctic air or the backside of Arctic air? A big storm. Now this is the GFS representation of how this is going to play out. So this is quite different than the other models. So, alright, let's look at our wind map. Here we go. Again, I'm a little unprepared here. Let me just look through this and make sure I'm getting this right. Yeah, I think I got it. Alright, so what the American model has here, this is on Saturday. You have a disturbance coming into the western United States here. It has a piece of this going southeast, and then a piece of this is going to stay north. Okay, so let's watch that happen. See how it splits up? Alright, now we're into Sunday. Now, you have another piece of energy down here. This is going to stay to the southwest. That's not going to interfere, according to the American model. And then this piece of energy is going to combine with that piece of energy. Okay? And then they're going to form a storm along the boundary between warm and cold air, which is going to be down here. And so that storm's going to explode, and it's going to move northeast along the Arctic front, which is going to stall somewhere around here. That's an Arctic front. It's going to stall somewhere around here. Okay, so these two pieces of energy are going to combine. We were here, okay? And now they combine, sort of. Not as much as the other models are showing. And then this strengthens a little bit. But notice how it stays far to the south. Doesn't really come up the coast. Look at that. That's more of a positive tilt than a negative tilt. So if it's more positively tilted, it's not really going to come up the coast like that. The GFS, what the GFS has, and take a look at this. So this is the energy that's creating your storm. Number one, look at how weak this is. That doesn't even look like a big storm at all. It's very weak, and look how far south it is. What the GFS has is this surge of Arctic air that's coming in. It has this surge of Arctic air dominating this entire area, and it's keeping the storm from coming further north, much like on March 2nd, that snowstorm that affected this area that we thought was going to affect that area. It's a solution like that where the Arctic air is suppressing this further south. And look at your precipitation map. All of this precipitation stays to the south and off the coast. So the American model says, you know what, guys? This Arctic air is going to be coming in. It's going to be strong. Look at how strong this is. See? This is Monday evening. Look how far south this comes. So obviously that's going to be suppressing anything that tries to come up along the coast here. This is cold, dry air. It's going to be interfering. Now, again, so that's what the American model is showing. Alright? So no big snowstorm according to the American model. Canadian model says, you don't know how to forecast American model. You're getting it wrong. So this is what's going to happen. Alright? So here's your Canadian model. I like this solution better. Alright, now we're at Sunday. Okay, so I'm going to kind of skip ahead here. So on Sunday, you have this piece of energy here, right? And then you have another piece of energy here. And these are both embedded in the southern jet stream here. Now, you have your northern branch of the jet stream all the way up here. That might also play a role, I think, in suppressing the storm further south if that indeed does become the case. But the Canadian model thinks that this disturbance is going to be strong enough where it's going to come further north. So what's going to happen is these two pieces of energy here are going to come close to combining. They will combine for the most part. Some of it will stay to the southwest, but not all of it will. But again, there's more activity here on this model than the American model. So if you come to the next one here, see they're kind of getting closer together. And then they pretty much do combine. And then there's another piece of energy coming in from the north, and all these three pieces of energy are going to come together. Alright, so you went from that to that to that. Look at how much that strengthens. And also notice how far south this digs. Now, what's happening here is you have a cold front, again, that's draped across this area from another low-pressure system moving through on Saturday. In fact, I can show you. Here's your low-pressure map. Here's your storm, by the way, that the Canadian model is showing. That's pretty big storm. And then your cold front from this low is draped back along here like this. So, what the Canadian model is suggesting is that these three pieces of energy coming in are all going to combine like so, and you're going to get a storm to form somewhere around here over the mid-south, and it's going to track northeast along the cold front. Okay? Notice how it sort of becomes negatively tilted over here. So if your storm is on the northern side of this piece of energy, it's going to go east-northeast. Okay? And then again, look at that tilt. So it's going to be look at this. This is a strong negative tilt. It's going to be taking in moisture from the Atlantic, and then you have a positive tilt back here, so moisture from the Gulf at the same time. So there'll be a lot of liquid on the northern side of this. Okay, and then it moves northeast. It continues to move northeast, and then it moves off. And then you have another system that's going to be developing over for the mid part of the week, but I really don't want to get into that just yet. Okay. So you've seen the wind map. These three pieces of energy are going to combine and form a storm along the cold front. It's going to track northeast along the cold front. Let's look at our low pressure map. So here is your storm forming. Your cold front is draped across like that. Okay? So here we go. Look where it goes. Look at that. It doesn't really strengthen too much, it looks like. 1,004, I think that says. It actually, what it does is because you have so much energy here, you have a lot of energy here, a lot of energy moving in. The reason, what it does is it develops two areas of low pressure. So there's going to be, according to the Canadian model, two different bursts of snow. One moving with this one and one moving with that one. Now, as you know, with snowstorms, basically your heaviest snow is always on the northern side. So that threat would extend probably from Virginia on north into central New England and then on westward into possibly Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. That would be your threat. Now, so then this is a favorable track for a decent snowstorm in this entire area here. This entire area. And now you'll notice you have high pressure up here. So that's going to be funneling in Arctic air down south. So it will be cold enough for snow. This high pressure sets up in the precise area, in my opinion. And it doesn't come further south, so according to the Canadian model, it's not going to be too suppressed to the south. Now look at your precipitation map. Look at the extent of this snow. This is a pretty decent storm. Look at that. This is all snow right here. And you have a really band of heavy snow associated with one of those low pressures. And it looks to me that that is just south of Long Island. Well, actually, no, it's pretty far south of Long Island, but according to Canadian model, if this comes through, I still think you could get heavy snow bands extending all the way up into southern New England and Long Island, New York City, New Jersey, southeastern Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, northern Virginia, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia. All of you, I think, are in a greater risk for some heavy snow. Probably more along the northern mid-Atlantic, though. Okay, so that's the Canadian model. The Canadian model says, American model, you're wrong. All this energy is going to come together, unlike you're suggesting that it won't. It's going to all come together, and you're going to get a big storm. Okay? Now, granted, I don't think this storm is going to be nearly as big as the one that's happening now, but I do think that there's a chance to see, 6 inches or more, and maybe up to a foot in some places. That might be exaggerating a little bit, but I definitely think there's a chance that you're definitely going to get some moderate snowfall with this, and possibly some areas, maybe in the northern mid-Atlantic, in this area here, and maybe into southern New England, could get 6 inches or more. But again, it's 5 days out, so something you got to watch. And the reason I don't bring this threat too far north is because the European model, while it does support a big storm, all right, here we go. All right, so we are into Sunday now. So you have this piece of energy here, and the southern piece of energy, this piece of energy here, southern piece of energy here. Here you go. Alright, so there it is. These two are going to combine. And bam, they combine. And then the tilt starts to become negative. So it shifts northeast. Watch that. It shifts northeast like that. That's really cool. So that means it's going to track northeast. Alright, look at your low pressure map. It's going to start forming right around here. And then bam, there. Oop, I'm sorry. Bam, there it is. This track is a little further south than the Canadian, or it's not really too much further south. It's about the same. You have high pressure developing back there, so again, funneling in that Arctic air. So this looks like it could be a pretty decent storm according to the European and Canadian models. American model says no, there ain't going to be any storm. Alright, so based on all that, I came up with a threat map. Okay. Alright, so I think your greatest threat for to get a decent snow from this is going to be southern New England, southward into the mid-Atlantic, southern New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, southeastern Massachusetts, southeastern New York, Long Island, New York City, you are in it, New Jersey, southern Pennsylvania, southern Ohio, northeastern West Virginia, northeastern Kentucky, West Virginia, and those areas there. Now again, if the trend takes this further south, because I'm worried that this Arctic air mass, I'm worried that this Arctic air mass over here might seduce the storm a little bit. So if this trend goes further south, then this red area will be shifted further south as well. So this is not set in stone yet, but my video is a little bit too long, so I'm going to stop it here. But again, this is your threat map, so watch if you are in those areas. Okay? Thank you.